Welcome to Higher Impact. I'm your host, Teresa Hairston, and I'm here at the New Birth Missionary Baptist Church in Lithonia, Georgia. Of course, one of the amazing churches in the nation. And we're in the midst of this coronavirus pandemic, but the pastor here has been kind enough to speak with us, so I'm honored to do one-on-one with Pastor Jamal Bryant. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you. It's an honor to be here. I'm excited to be just in your presence and to find good news, even in the midst of bad times.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
So, Pastor Bryant, before we talk about what we're dealing with now, can we talk a little bit about your transition from Baltimore to Atlanta and how that came about?
Let me say I've been in Atlanta for 15 months, and I told our board just last week, if this would have happened my first year, I would have went back home. I would have thought I missed God on the whole thing. But I'm grateful that God has steadied the waters. And I want to say really a word to pastors because Luther Blackwell, amazing man of God, said to me something, Teresa, that stuck with me. Preachers are the last people to believe what they preach.
Wow.
And I'd come to a place where the last 2 years of my ministry in Baltimore, I felt stuck. I felt stifled. I was fighting through depression, and I was growing. I was successful and unfulfilled.
Wow.
And
successful and unfulfilled.
Isn't that amazing?
That's really
and so when this opened up, this was not in my bucket list, not in my things to do. I'm a third generation AME, so I never thought I'd be at a missionary Baptist church. I'm an alumnus of Morehouse College. Never thought I'd be living back in Atlanta, but you've got to avail yourself to the way of God. I left the church that I started in 2000. This month, Teresa, would have been our 20th anniversary.
Wow.
To show you how time flies, you highlighted us in my 5th anniversary. Yes. And put me on the cover.
Wow.
And that's 15 years ago, just to see how fast God has moved us. And I left a church that had $3 million worth of debt to take a church that had $30 million worth of debt, and I'm the happiest I've been in my life.
Wow.
Because your anointing demands a challenge.
Okay.
And I slipped into a place where I was relying on my gift and not the oil of God.
Wow.
And there's a complete difference in doing it. And so every day that I wake up and take on this Herculean assignment, I am clear I cannot move this.
Well, you have done an amazing
Thank you.
job.
Thank you.
I think that there was a lot of, skepticism.
Yes.
Will he succeed in
Yes.
this? Coming behind an institution, coming behind one of the, most noted leaders in the country, in the world.
Yes.
And then coming into a situation where the pastor had, transitioned.
Yes.
So how did you feel? When did you know? When did you just... what was that moment that you knew, oh yes, this is what God has for me?
So let me tell you what happened. Funny story. You're the only reporter in the world I've given this to. I talked to Bishop Neil Ellis, and he said, Jamal, I'm over the search committee, and I need you to just go cover a Sunday. I said, Bishop, I don't preach out of my church on Sundays. You want me to do a midweek? I can do that. He says, no, I need you to go down there and cover a Sunday for me. I got to fill all of these Sundays. Do me a favor. I said, Bishop, I tell you what, I give you a 5th Sunday because I don't go out. So he says, all right, take a 5th Sunday. So I go down on a 5th Sunday. I sat in the pulpit in this half-empty church on Youth Day with 20 kids in the choir, and God said, this is your assignment. I couldn't believe it. My parents, who are retired, were watching the stream of New Birth. And when I got back to the hotel, my dad called me and said, man, you did a great job today. God used you. I said, oh, praise the Lord. He said, did they talk to you about being the pastor? Now, my father's presiding bishop of the AME church. So I said, no, not yet. He said, okay, let me know when they call you. And so it just became a domino effect, that I had no misgivings, but just a peace because I knew that I was in transition. And let me say to some viewer that sometimes you can confuse transition with warfare. It is not warfare, but it is going through a different phase that you don't recognize. It's unfamiliar. It is a blind trust.
Wow.
He said to Abraham, I'm going to send you to a place you don't know, where your family is near. I ain't even going to tell you the name of it. You'll just know when you get there. And so this has really been an Abrahamic covenant for me.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
That's an amazing testimony.
Yeah.
And I'm sure coming here was just easy. You didn't have
Yes.
any bumps in the road.
Oh, I didn't have bumps in the road. I had potholes in the street. I had so many. It's just, here is the shift. And I want to say a word to young pastors. A major mindset change for me, from being a founder to being a successor.
Wow.
That's completely different.
Yeah.
So in Baltimore, it was completely my vision. It was really dictation. This what we doing next.
Yeah.
This what I see God doing. All right, Pastor, we're going to do it. And then fulfilling somebody else's vision is a completely different call. And so making that adjustment, making the adjustment of not being the founding first family,
Yes.
but serving the first family
Yeah.
is an adjustment. This is the very first time I tell people, and they laugh, that I've had to say to my members, yes, ma'am. Because I pastor young people and young adults, and yes, sir.
Yeah.
And hearing members call me son, is a completely adjustment, but I love every minute of it.
That's awesome. When we come back, we'll talk to Pastor Jamal Bryant. This is such an exciting time. We'll talk to him about how the growth of New Birth has taken place and how the transformation has occurred. Stay tuned.
The Impact Network wants to connect with you, and the easiest way is through our new mobile-friendly website. Simply go to www.watchimpact.com, and a world of information and inspiration will be at your fingertips. Live streaming is always available on your desktop, plus take us with you anywhere. You'll be able to connect directly with any of the Impact programmers and get more information on concerts, crusades, church services, and more. If you are ever in need, we are there for you. We have a 24/7 prayer team ready to agree for any need. Also, access our blog site. In it, you'll find inspirational words and teaching from some of the most anointed voices today. Supporting your Impact Network is easier than ever. Just access the donate button, and you're only a few clicks away from changing someone's life forever. Thank you for your prayers and financial support. We are the Impact Network.
Impact, where urban family, faith, lifestyle, entertainment, culture, collide. All here on Impact.
We're in this special segment with Pastor Jamal Bryant. Pastor,
Yes.
let's talk about coming to New Birth and kind of experiencing from, where it had been when you got here
Yes.
to where you are now. What happened?
An amazing change of life. I really came behind, I'm saying, a martyr, a legend, a general in the body of Christ. Bishop Eddie Long left a footprint that could be heard and felt all over the world. The only distinction was the congregation grew older with him.
Yes.
Many people don't realize, because they saw Bishop's biceps and triceps, that when he passed, he was 62.
Wow.
And so the congregation, my median age of my member was 57.
Yeah.
And so I was intentional about coming, that I need to get more millennials and more Gen Xers. And so we did an initiative that really changed our relationship in the community of, over Easter, bailing out nonviolent offenders from prison. It was my goal to raise $40,000 over Lent because it's 40 days, and we raised $120,000. We bailed out men and women, nonviolent offenders, and to hear them coming out, hearing the testimonies. I never went to church.
Wow.
My family isn't churched. My own family wouldn't bail me out, but this preacher I don't know came and got me.
Yeah.
Really began the catapult of our synergy within the community, and then it just began to mushroom. Right after that, we did a campaign to get 5,000 pairs of brand new back-to-school shoes for children in Atlanta. And we had them come in our sanctuary. If you can imagine, our shoe giveaway was bigger than Easter.
Wow.
Our sanctuary holds 8,500. I'm giving away 5,000 pairs of shoes, so imagine if each child comes with one parent. So it was standing room only for us to do service.
Wow.
And so this pandemic really was the icing of what we've done the last 15 months, which is to do ministry outside of the four walls.
And I know you did something.
Yes.
Did you do a marriage thing? Or?
Yes, so when I came in, I combed all of the records. Most pastors, you just check the finances, but I checked all of the records, and I was amazed. We were a mega church that was averaging 2 weddings a year.
Wow.
And I was concerned as a divorced pastor that I didn't want to turn our sanctuary into a singles ministry, that I wanted to foster and promote the value of family life.
Okay.
So I said, listen, all of y'all who are shacking up, all of you who are living together, all of you who are saying you can't get married because of finances,
Right.
I'm going to pay for the whole wedding.
Wow.
So we got sponsors for dresses, for cakes, for tuxedos, for photographers. It was absolute for flowers. It was insane. I brought in Anthony Hamilton to sing.
Okay.
Oh, no, it was amazing. So 18 couples got married in one day.
Wow.
And I did it in the middle of worship.
Where do you get all these ideas?
My mother asked me the same thing. I just live, sleep, eat, and drink New Birth on concepts and ways. My rule of thumb, my staff will tell you, my rule to my team is if another church is doing it, I'm not interested.
Wow.
I want to do what nobody else is doing in the marketplace to really find our niche of significance and creativity.
Wow.
Yeah.
We'll be back with more from Pastor Jamal Bryant. Stay tuned.
Impact, where urban family, faith, lifestyle, entertainment, culture, collide. All here on Impact.
Your Impact Network has gone mobile. Now we'll be there wherever you are, whenever you need us. Our brand new app allows you to stream our complete lineup of preaching, ministry, and music 24/7. All of your favorite programs in the palm of your hand and just a click away. Impact's app features our content schedule for quick and easy searching and a Bible reading plan so you never miss daily devotions. We also have a brand new video on demand section so you can enjoy what you want exactly when you want. Regardless of your circumstance, the Impact Network will provide the ministry programs desired. Our goal is to have a positive impact on you and the lives of others. We also have an easy-to-use support button, allowing you to donate quickly, partnering with us as we preach the gospel around the world. Your Impact Network is now available in the App Store on all mobile platforms. Download it today and tell your friends.
In the midst of this COVID pandemic, there still is ministry that's being done. Behind me, we are doing feeding, and what are we doing?
It's the King's Table. We opened up our food pantry, Teresa, in January. And in January, we were feeding 300 families a month with free groceries. Since the pandemic, we're doing 1,000 a week.
Wow.
So the last 3 weeks, Over 3,000 people have come in, and for those of you who are watching, we're practicing social distancing. The people are coming up. Several things are happening, which are so significant, Teresa, I'm excited about. Number one, you're registering to vote. Number two, you're filling out your census information.
Okay.
And then three, you come in and get the food. We've partnered with Trader Joe's, with Publix, Atlanta Food Bank. I'm embarrassed to tell you that donations to food banks across America are down by 95%.
Wow.
But still, we're able to thrive. Just this week, we received $5,000 from Steve Harvey's foundation to do it. Got $5,000 from Anthony Hamilton. People of goodwill are coming through this line, and we're asking, do you need food? And they said, no, I'm coming to drop off food.
Wow.
So this has been a major outpouring of love, and I'm just grateful that the Christ-like compassion is being modeled here at New Birth.
How has the COVID-19 pandemic changed the dynamic of what you're able to do for your members? Because
Yes.
I know you're online. A lot of
Yes.
churches, all the churches
Yes.
are online
Yes.
or not doing anything,
Yes.
whatever. What has that, how has that impacted you? Have you found a big drop off?
Yeah.
Or
Our viewership, Teresa, nobody believes it, has doubled.
double?
Yes. It
Wow.
has doubled over the last 3 weeks. We have seen a double in people who are viewing our worship experience. It is pressing us to really operate, you're not going to believe this, church people, in the 21st century. Culture changes every 4 years, but church culture changes every 15.
Wow.
And so what it is that you did in your publishing life, if you'll model, let's take, for example, gospel music. A gospel album will stay on the charts for a year or 2 years, where a hip-hop album, if they're lucky, can be 6 weeks.
Okay.
So today, if you and I pulled up our phones and looked at Billboard's Gospel Top 50, Kirk Franklin got 3 songs and no album.
Right.
Because when we find something, we stick to it.
Right.
So most of these churches that are streaming are happy and elated to be on Facebook, but their children have left it for TikTok.
Yeah.
And the church is not there. And so we're ever moving and evolving. In January, almost serendipitously, we hired an internet pastor whose only job is to service those who view and worship online.
Wow.
We didn't know that we were going to go to being a complete virtual church, so it's absolutely amazing.
That is amazing.
Yeah.
And so have you changed your message online for what you normally preach?
I've not changed my message, I've changed my approach.
So your method has changed.
Yeah, the method has changed
Okay.
because all of the nuances of the black church are gone. There's no turn to your neighbor.
Yeah.
You ain't giving nobody a high five. I know you can praise them better than that. But it is really pressing preachers for preparation. That you are having to give a 15, 20 minute of solid substance that is able to give people not pie in the sky, but a pound on the ground.
Wow.
People want to know, not are you hitting my emotional triggers, but are you really speaking to my soul and to my spirit, that I'm trapped with people I claim to love.
Yes.
I want to get away from who I took a vow to be with.
Okay.
And so what that really means, that 6 million people have filed unemployment. It is what Cornel West calls the working poor.
Yes.
People with a job are struggling. And so it can't be a telethon just asking for money.
Yeah.
But how do we thrive as the children of God? This,
So that
yes.
that's a key factor because we know what we're in now.
Yes.
And we kind of see the evolution of what is the demise of everything that was normal.
Yes.
So this new normal that we're going into, what is that going to be? And what are you seeing? What are you hearing in the spirit?
So our children in ministry, pastors, will not be looking for a building. Church planters will need a laptop. When you will consider that this week AMC movie theaters filed bankruptcy and said they may not be able to open after the pandemic, and movies have been a mainstay of American culture, and it's moving away. I think that the church building in the next 4 years will be studios. And so we're going to have to really re-galvanize what it is that we do, that we have the whole notion of choirs. What is that in this hour?
Right.
And so everything is being re-evaluated, how it is that we move forward. Benjamin Mays, former president of Morehouse College, said you got to run faster or you're forever left behind. And I'm afraid many churches are not going to be able to make the transition or make the shift.
People, because you know you got one of the largest sanctuaries in the country.
Yes.
Are people going to stop coming to the sanctuary now?
Here's what's interesting, Teresa. It takes 30 days to make a habit. And we're going to be out of church building for 90 days. For the first time in the history of Christianity, we're going to be doing evangelism to get saints back to church. Can you imagine that?
That's going to be deep.
Yeah. So if I'm going...
So what are we going to do to get them back?
Why?
So they don't need...
Why?
Okay.
Yeah, I mean...
So what are you going to do with all this building?
We're going to have to do ministry in a different way. What that looks like, I don't know.
Okay.
But you deal... Nobody... My sister's a therapist, and she said something to me that shook me to my core. She said, Jamal, you don't understand the layers of deep-seated trauma people are going to be under coming out of this.
Yeah.
Just the anxiety of being in a room with 7,000 people, Teresa, and one person cough.
Yeah.
Everybody's gonna be like, whoa!
Yeah.
One person sneezes, it's all over.
Right.
And so it's not just an announcement from Dr. Fauci. You know, you're gonna have to work through that you've been in isolation. The church is gonna have to prepare itself that domestic violence has gone up by 300%. When them doors open, what are our churches prepared to do to get their mothers out of there?
Yes.
Because it's being exposed while you and I are talking. Some daughter's confessing she's been touched inappropriately.
Wow.
What do we do to cover them?
Yeah.
What do we do, church? Y'all buckle up that you are stuck in there, and while you're in there, your son comes out the closet. What do we do to minister to that?
Yeah.
And so the church is going to have to really deal with it. We don't know coming out of these 90 days, Teresa, how many people are going to file for divorce. You got no clue.
And a lot of pastors that I've talked to have a real issue with the fact that in this 90 days, 60 days, you know, whatever it is, that there has been a kind of a non-essential clause attached to what happens in the church.
Yes. Yeah, well, the nonsense, here's the issue. 93% of what Jesus did was outside of the church. In the 21st century, 93% of what we do is in the building.
So we've got to change.
We're going to have to change our whole mind frame. It don't matter whether you're Kojic, Apostolic, AME, Baptist, Lutheran. At the end of the sermon, the pastor always says this word. It doesn't matter what their denomination, the doors of the church are open. And we say that waiting for the community to come in.
When we should be going.
The community waiting for us to come out. And now is the time for us to do it. The internet is going to be overwhelmed and saturated with the gospel. We've got to take full advantage of it. We've never had the world's attention as we have it right now. So it's an exciting time for the church.
Thank you so much for this
time
with you. This has been amazing. Stay tuned. We'll be back with more. Thank you for joining us. We certainly appreciate the privilege of your time. And here at the Impact Network, we're committed to continuing to bring you information that feeds your faith and starves your fears. Connect with me on social media at Dr. T. Hairston or on my website, teresahairston.com. I look forward to seeing you same time, same place, right here on Higher Impact. And as we close, be blessed by this virtual selection.
Jehovah, you, I trust in you. Oh Lord, Jehovah, you, I trust in you. I believe
my pain.